What Israel really wants is land. In fact, they've been announcing that over and over again. So maybe, just maybe, it's time to believe them. Take a look.
While Israel has said that it will negotiate directly with the Lebanese government for the first time, Israel's defense minister previously stated that the Israeli military will occupy and control areas south of the Litani River, even after fighting ends. If Israel does indeed occupy large parts of southern Lebanon, then questions remain as to what will happen to more than 1 million displaced Lebanese.
So Israel invades southern Lebanon just a few days after the United States launches its war against Iran. And the Israelis claimed that they had a chance to invade Lebanon specifically to disarm Hezbollah because the Lebanese government and army can't. That's their excuse. However, Hezbollah has proven to be a formidable opponent. You wouldn't think so, right? Everything we heard from the Israelis after previous strikes on Lebanon indicated that they were certain that they had defeated Hezbollah. Hezbollah had been so weakened, it was no longer a threat to the Israelis in the northern part of Israel. In fact, there were some individuals who were thinking, hey, maybe it's a good idea for us to evacuate as hostilities continue with the Israelis and Hezbollah. But the IDF chose not to evacuate certain parts of northern Israel, which was really interesting because that signaled to people that the Israelis, the IDF, generally thought that they had weakened Hezbollah so much that it was no longer a threat. And then they invade southern Lebanon under this premise of, we need to disarm Hezbollah, they're a huge threat. Okay, fine. So what's been happening? Have the Israelis made any progress in defeating Hezbollah? Well, Military Watch magazine reported that the Israeli army takes heaviest tank losses in over 40 years as Hezbollah ambushes destroyed 21 Merkavas in one day. In fact, that story goes into detail about various ambushes, attacks, missile strikes that have been carried out by Hezbollah. And the IDF has reportedly lost around 100 Merkava tanks in their border expansion operation since March 2nd. Other consequences of engagements have included the firing of over 60 rockets at targets in the Galilee region that day, complementing much longer range strikes against Israeli targets launched by Hezbollah's close strategic partner, Iran. And there have been some IDF deaths as a result. I'll give you an example of what was reported by the Times of Israel just today. IDF soldier killed as vehicle crashes in South Lebanon, 10 hurt in clash with Hezbollah. There was a gunfight with members of Hezbollah. So in total, so far, since March 2nd, 13 IDF soldiers have been killed in Lebanon as a result of this effort to expand Israel's borders. Let's be very clear about that, under the false pretense of disarming Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah, of course, is resisting these efforts because they don't want to see 10 to 15% of Lebanon annexed by the Israelis. But the Israelis, you got to give them credit, man. They sure are persistent. Because the whole existence of Hezbollah has to do with the fact that it seems every decade, Israel has attempted to invade Lebanon and annex land. 1982 is when Hezbollah formed following an Israeli invasion. And so this hasn't been an easy fight for the Israelis. And to be honest with you, I'm glad it's not an easy fight for the Israelis. Israel thinks that all of their neighbors hate them because what? They're jealous of you? Or could it be that you keep trying to expand your borders? Could it be that you have destabilized multiple countries in order to ensure that you have complete dominance over the region? Maybe that's the reason. And when you try to displace people from their homes, when you wipe out entire families, don't be surprised when resistance groups pop up. A group like Hezbollah comes along and fights you as you try to annex the southern part of a country that you have no business taking. That's what's happening right now. But I want to be very clear about something else because the war crimes in Lebanon are certainly real, and the damage being done by the IDF, by the Israeli government, is so unbearably cruel, heartless, inhumane, and no one's stopping it. No one is stopping it, including, by the way, the president of Lebanon, who has been incredibly meek in the face of Israeli aggression. So even though Israel is losing its war against Hezbollah, in southern Lebanon. Much of their failure in, basically defeating Hamas can be seen in how they're handling Hezbollah.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.